court to order, and this is the last regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court for September. Just remind everyone to turn their cell phones off. We do have a fairly short agenda by our standards, so hopefully we can get out here pretty quick. At this time, I would like to ask Commissioner Jason Tackett if he would do the invocation for us.
Bow our head. Our Lord, be with us, be with the elected officials in this county. Keep them moving Pike County forward. Be with the flood victims, Lord, throughout the county. And be with the people that was hit in Puerto Rico. In your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Judge Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Tackett.
Here.
Commissioner Booth.
Here.
We have a quorum. We're ready to proceed. I'd like to ask our jailer, Brian Morris, if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic
which stands
one nation, under
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the September 6, 2022 meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
A motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett. Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. I'd like to ask our jailer, Brian Morris and Captain Jason Fields, if they would come up. They have a presentation to the court for acknowledgement. This is acknowledgement of receipt of the 2022 Pike County Detention Center Policy and Procedures Manual. Gentlemen,
Yeah,
that's a lot of work that's been put into this.
well, it's a lot of work, but it's just one little small paragraph. We had a couple inmates several months ago walked away from work detail, and which we reported them as escaped inmates, and we had to change our policy and procedure to notify if any inmate runs off, escapes, get released. From this point forward, we're notifying what they call the vine line, and that's notify any victims that the family members, notify the family members that the inmates has been released. And that's what the change is in my policy and procedure.
All right. Is there a motion to acknowledge receipt of the Pike County Detention Center Policy and Procedures Manual for 2022?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any question or discussion?
One last thing, Judge, while I'm here, I gave late copies of my commissary report with three commissioners, you and Frankie. It's just to acknowledge the 21-22 year-end commissary report.
Okay. We'll do this one, then we'll do that commissary report. Do you have that, Frankie? Is that in here? Is it? He handed it out. Okay.
I laid it beside your.
I got it. Thank you. Let's do this one, then we'll do that one. Jason, welcome.
How are you?
Good. Good. It's going to be a short meeting. Even better. All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett, second by Commissioner Robertson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Next item is acknowledge receipt of the fiscal year 2022 year-end commissary report. Is there a motion to acknowledge receipt?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth. Judge Jones.
Yes. Gentlemen, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
If y'all have any other business that needs to come before us, let us know.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See y'all. Next item is the adoption of resolution for the approval of the execution of a mutual aid agreement between the Fiscal Court and the Transportation Cabinet Department of Highways. This is the ongoing efforts that we're receiving help with the Transportation Cabinet, but we do need to adopt a resolution to extend that. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution that's in the packet? Motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson? Yes. Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. Next item is the adoption of a resolution for the approval of a joinder agreement with Kentucky Public Employees Deferred Compensation Authority. Frankie, you want to give us some information on this real quick?
Judge, we already had a joinder agreement with Kentucky Deferred Comp that would let county employees participate in that program, but there was some KRS language changed, and we have to renew the agreement. So that's basically about what it is, just so the employees can contribute to deferred comp.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution for approval of the joinder agreement with Kentucky Public Employees Deferred Compensation Authority? Motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. We have an issue that we need to address real quick. As everyone that tunes into this on Facebook or Pike TV knows, we've had a lot of trouble with the sound system in here. We have trouble with it being picked up. Most of the microphones are dead. They're not working. We've known for some time that we're going to have to put a new sound system in the courtroom. We have Judge Hickman has been working to try to with CJ Childers to try to help figure out the best option for replacing the system. Reggie, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you. We've put this off for almost 4 years now, but it's getting to the point where, like I said, most of the microphones are not working and so forth. So,
No, CJ. CJ, come on up and have a seat. I'll let him go through the details. One of the things we're trying to accomplish is a long-term solution. This system has been stretched and stretched and stretched for years and patched and worked on. So we're looking for a long-term solution. We're also looking for something that will accommodate press conferences as well as our meetings here. And I think we've accomplished that, and I'll let CJ run through the details.
Yes, we're looking at replacing all the monitors on the bench with newer monitors that will not be as big and bulky as those, replacing all the microphones on the bench, replacing the projector, which is messed up a few court meetings ago. That's why it's not working right now. And replacing all the mics down here, and it gives direct feeds for multiple news agencies, not just Pike TV. If you have multiple news agencies going on in here, direct feeds off the audio system to them. It moves everything from over there near where Frankie's at to the back of the courtroom where it can be monitored and operated more efficiently.
We're also looking to do a minor remodel back there with the platform.
Yeah.
We're going to widen it out and strengthen the floor of the platform so it doesn't shake. And Public Works, Paul, is going to help us with that.
Yeah, because that platform back there was originally designed for the original system years and years ago that had VCRs, basically, and cameras that were set up back there to do all the video recording, and then it was sent by VHS tape to the news media. So that platform has got a big ramp on it that we're going to take off and just make steps, make it a big, just wide, flat platform. Everything back there for them.
yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Excuse me.
Well, it's
Before this stops working completely.
it's slowly but surely dying. You're already short microphones up there that's just quit. The controller over there that's for 'em, one of the two controllers over there has quit completely. So
How old is this system that we were using?
18 plus, give or take a little bit.
And the technology's dated, so.
Yeah, Everybody that knows, I've replaced the HDMI switch underneath the bench there twice or 3 times, just keeping the monitors and everything going.
So we've shopped around. The best price that we've been able to get is from Brandon Productions here in Pikeville. And the price is $24,436 for the new sound system monitors. Does that include the?
That includes a projector, and that's turnkey. All except for Public Works doing the platform in the back. That's him doing all the wiring, moving everything, hooking everything up, testing everything, making sure everything works, training. Most of it's got a 2-year warranty on it. The projector has a 3-year direct replacement warranty with a 5-year parts and labor warranty.
Purchasing has reviewed this as well.
It's gone through the purchasing department with Greg Fannin to make sure we're getting the best price. Yeah, I know we use the projectors, at trials when we're trying cases, and they are expensive. But that's why we take 2 projectors with us in case one of them goes down.
Right, and that one with the lights in here, especially since once they upgraded the lights, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's always had a whiteout sort of situation with the screen. This was a more powerful projector, so to hopefully combat that whiteout situation.
All right. Is there a motion to purchase the sound system, monitors, and projector with installation from Brandon Productions LLC in Pikeville for $24,436?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Booth. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett?
Yes.
Commissioner Booth?
Yes.
Judge Jones?
Yes. Next item is presentation by the Pike County Trails Advisory Board, and Jerry, come on up.
Judge, what this has to pertain to is the property that the county purchased from AEP up in the Upper Pigeon Creek area of Elkhorn Creek, 2,535 acres. As you first enter onto that property from Route 197 Elkhorn Creek onto the county-owned property, there is an active mining permit on 16 acres, the first 16 acres that you enter onto there. I give a handout to the people up front today on the second page. See a proposed map that I'll get to in just a moment. This mining, until this property is reclaimed by Appalachian Resources of Kentucky, who inherited this reclamation obligation from CAM when Appalachian Resource Company, we referred to as ARC, when they bought ARC's liabilities. They bought their assets from the bankruptcy court. Now ARC has the responsibility of reclaiming this. And we met with ARC, advisory chairman, Commissioner Jason Tackett, Vice Chairman Commissioner Robertson, Judge Hickman, and I. We've had a few meetings. At first, they're in no hurry to reclaim this because it's going to be a tremendous cost. As we looked into this and talked to a mining consultant, there is an option that's a win-win for the county and for ARC, Appalachian Resource. ARC can present to the Kentucky Department of Mine Reclamation a post-mine land use change for recreational purposes for the trail system, which could expedite this very, very much more speedily. They are on the first year of a new 5-year permit. But on continuing meetings, they are now agreeing to work with us hand in hand and change this post-mine land use to recreational. And not only will it help them because they would not have to go to full reclamation, which would bring this, there's a very tall high wall there, approximately 800 feet. If they have to do it by their normal practices, they'd have to go behind that high wall, start shooting it down and bring it down at a slope, put it back to pre-mining use, land use. Well, that would not be advantageous to us. With this map that's proposed here, there's 3 sections in yellow. If Department of Mine Reclamation approves this post-mine land use change, the center part of the yellow map that we're looking at the bottom left corner is 9.5 acres. They would put back flat in what is now called the pit area where they got the coal out of the bottom of the pit. There is nearly mountainous size areas of spoil material, which is the rock and the earth that they shot down from this high wall. Appalachian Resource Company, at their expense, will put this spoil material back into that pit area and create the county a 9.5 acre flat area. They've already had their engineer look at it. They'll put drainage on it. It shows drainage ditches to keep the water off of it, which could be used for a camping area / some parking if needed. The right of the big area, we've got a 1/2 acre flat area, could be used for parking. And to the left, we got, which is a little bit higher in elevation, nearly 100 feet, we could have another 1 acre flat that they will take care of it, again, all this at their expense. And this could all be accomplished if the Department of Mine Reclamation approves this in a matter of months instead of a matter of years. As long as this active mine permit is active on this property, our grant writer, Sharon Hall, cannot proceed with getting any grant money approved for the infrastructure that our master plan has in place. Water lines, sewer, everything. She has a $3.4 million grant ready to go, but it's on hold till we can get this taken care of. So if the court were to vote the resolution to work hand in hand with ARC and change this post-mine to work together, to ask the Department of Regulation to change this post-mine land use to recreational, this could be expedited much quicker, as I said earlier, and it would be very beneficial to the county and to Appalachian Resource.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer that we need to do this. So, and yeah, I want to thank Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Tackett, yourself, and the folks on the Trail Advisory Committee for, getting this done, because this helps us move the development of the Flatwoods trail segment forward. And I think it's important that we get that section opened quickly. I think there was 50 or 55 riders from either.
That was,
where were those? Where
That
were
was
they
the
from?
Jenkins Masonic Lodge.
yeah, they was, I think 52, 55, somewhere in there, Saturday. Some was from South Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, and then the majority of them was, local or Pike County, Floyd County residents, Letcher County residents. There was, and everybody enjoyed it. I mean, the new trails back there, there was a lot of people come to me and said that Cliff was doing a great job, and Jerry and Joel back there building the trails.
I went down the Mountain Parkway. I can't remember if it was on a Friday or Saturday a couple weeks ago, and I was shocked at how many trucks pulling side-by-sides were headed east on the Parkway. And I told the story that my son and I were in Lexington last year. People at the table beside of us in a restaurant overheard talking that they were going to Knott County. They were from Connorsville, Indiana, and I got to talking to them, and they come down frequently. They leave on Friday night. They stay at Hazard. They're eating in restaurants. They're spending money there. They ride all day Saturday. They ride part of the day Sunday. And they drive home. I mean, I think that's a positive thing if we can start bringing money into the area instead of seeing our money go to Lexington or Charleston or Kingsport or Huntington. If we've got people coming here wanting to spend money, because I think it helps all of our local businesses. And it brings a lot of attention to the county. So I'm fully supportive of this, and again, I think it's something that'll help move this project forward quickly. So is there a motion to enter into, or to allow me to sign this agreement with ARC Kentucky Resources to request a change for recreational use as opposed to reclaiming it as its pre-mining use?
Judge, I'd like to say another thing is, by the way this is, we can get it back this way, that's gonna add an extra 9.5 acres of level land for whatever campgrounds, whatever we can put there. But yes,
Lodging is vital up there. It's going to be sorely needed.
And this is off of the Route off of the 197
one ninety-seven on the
So,
Elkhorn
I mean,
Creek.
it's, you know, it's close to the Sycamore Park.
Right.
So, again, I think it's a no-brainer. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll
this
make the
agreement?
motion.
A motion by Commissioner Tackett, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Jerry, you have anything else for us on the trail system?
We're currently developing 5 days a week, 1 to 1.5 miles a day of additional trail up there. We are connecting trails that hadn't been connected that will prevent riders from getting to the end of a trail and turn around and backtracking and meeting on as much oncoming traffic. We have our website under development. We're working on that. We'll have a rule package together here shortly. We're moving forward, and as soon as we're sure that everyone can have a good, safe ride up there, enjoyable, we'll be opening as soon as we possibly can.
Another thing is I was speaking with Cliff yesterday, and he said he had one trail that when he got it completed would be 30 miles around, you know.
That will be like a 30-mile loop around the outer part of it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So,
He's doing a great job up there. So,
I look forward to going up there and seeing the work that's been done recently, so.
hopefully we can get together soon. We'll go up and ride it in ATV, side by side.
We'll do it.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Fan, any bids, sir? All right. Mr. Little, would you like to come on up and give us an update?
Well, Judge, we're still are working, doing the flood work. I'm really proud of the guys, and you know, these roads they're still a ways from being back to where they were at, but the roads are in fairly good shape. I think I'd mentioned to someone before, you know, my goal is to get some asphalt on all these places where the pavement was tore up. Looks like I'm going to be able to start that probably one day this week. We'll start patching. Probably Big Shelby be the first place that we'll go, and then we'll work backwards from there, work back down toward Dorton, Commissioner Tackett. That way, you know, we'll just hit all those roads as we come back down everywhere that the blacktop was tore up. And we're actually going to cut all the bad spots. We're going to cut that out so that you don't have the high spots whenever you're getting on and off these patches. So we'll cut all that old out, take it back down, and just relay it.
and Fabian, let's just let the people know that we will be doing pothole patching some of the other places.
Oh yeah, but now, see, now up there in that area though, it's going to be kind of tricky because it's going to be hard for me to get some potholing done. We will, which I do, you know, encourage everyone to call in and let me know where these roads are at that need all the pothole patching. But it's going to take that crew up there plus a couple other crews to you know, to get all this done so I can get this blacktop laid before the plant closes.
Well, you know, I don't think a lot of people in Pike County, I mean, they know we got flooded. I guess this is a fair statement from what I can come up with, from outskirts of Elkhorn City to the head of Long Fork. If you go 197, 805 down 023 to the head of Long Fork, there are about 35 halls that got pretty much messed up, and it's just going to take some time because, I mean, I know we've had some complaints on some other stuff, but, you know, it just...
It does. I mean, and, you know, I know I sound... It takes patience for the other people because these roads are the priority. And, you know, in this job, you have to prioritize where you put the guys. And, you know, my priority right now is to look ahead. For this winter, I have to get that blacktop on those roads before we start before we can start trying to plow and salt these roads for this winter. So that's where I'm at, and, that's just, but honestly, I'm not gonna say that all the pothole patches won't be filled, but, right now I have to get that done before I start into doing the pothole patching up in that area. Now, Commissioner, Robertson, Commissioner Booth, their areas wasn't hit as hard, so they can get out. I can get those crews out to do some pothole patching.
Right.
We'll still do some there in your area, but it's taking everything we get, plus their crews coming over and helping on some days, just to try to get this pulled off to where we can get the blacktop laid.
And in District 2, people do appreciate, coming from District 3 or District 1 to help in District 2. We do very much appreciate that. And another thing is, I want the people to know is the money that's been appropriated for other blacktop next spring. This money is not. This does not knock nobody out of those roads that's been appropriated.
Absolutely not. This just put us behind on our schedule of where we would have liked to have been if this flood hadn't happened.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's all still there. Everything that was planned, it will still happen. It just, had to kind of take a back seat to this flood.
Right. And like I said, the majority of the people that I have talked to, have run into, they understand.
Yeah, and they do.
There's been a lot of roads got blacktop.
Yes.
There would have been, exactly.
You told me not to let you forget about Redbird Lane, but you've got it on there open to do that.
Yeah. I've actually, they should be there today.
Anything else we need on the? I've got a couple I need to give you after the meeting.
Okay.
So, a couple other issues. Just so folks will know, we're still getting a lot of calls about, wanting to know when the roads are going to be paved. And we're working diligently to try to get as many of the damaged roads paved, because you won't be able to plow them if you don't. Mm-hmm. How do you think we can get most of those done before the plant closes?
I do. That's my goal, and we will. I can't stop until we get it. I mean, it's not really if we can or not. I mean, it's that we have to, because there's just no way if we try to plow and salt those roads without those patches being on, the bottom's going to drop out of them. And those roads are big roads, most of them. If you take Owl Branch, Big Shelby, those have to be treated, and if it doesn't have blacktop, then you've lost that road. So, yeah, it's really not an option. We have to do it.
That's like a gentleman called me yesterday from Knob Fork.
Yeah.
I want to know if his road would be blacktop this year, and I told him I didn't really think it would be, because I told him about the flood and what we had to do, and I didn't want to go in there and blacktop that road when we need to put in a couple of drains, and we got to drive some steel right there on the bank. And he understood. He was okay with it.
It's still going to be in the same year, because our budget runs from July to July.
Yeah. Well, I told him it'd probably be spring.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of paving to do, and, it's like, I call Fabian because, we paved across Road Fork into Sookies Creek. We, used discretionary money to do most of that. And there's, the ditches are full because of the runoff, and there's breaks in the pavement there. I mean, there are breaks in the roads in places that didn't flood because they still washed out.
Judge, I mean, I can tell you that we're still finding areas that were damaged during the flooding that we didn't know about. I mean, that one right there is a good case, of roads that we didn't really think we had an issue on, because, we can't run every road every day or even once a month. There's just too many roads to do, and unless someone calls in and tells us, a lot of times it'll be a while before we know.
Well, I mean, the state's having the same problems. I mean, there's even on my creek, on the state part of the road, there's 2 or 3 big breaks. I mean, they're up there doing soil nails now on that Schoolhouse Hill on Left Fork Island Creek, because it was about ready. The whole thing was about ready to slide off.
Yeah.
But you know, we paved Pound a Mill, and there's two or three breaks on it. 3 breaks on it already, and we just paved that back in the summer.
I have to brag a little bit on that Guardian retention system. They do a good job, and they're pretty fast. I mean, they're speedy. They finished up on 3 Mile. They finished up on Fleming's Branch. They're around now to Dry Fork, and then from Dry Fork they will go to Big Branch at Elkhorn. That's where that Cougar Lane is, going out to the school, but you would turn left-handed. There's 2 areas out there that we're going to use them on. But they're doing a good job.
Are we going to be able to get Cougar Lane paved this year, you think?
Yeah, I'll have to get it patched. Now, when you're saying paved, I mean, I hadn't planned on doing a full resurface, but that shoulder of that road had washed off. We did go back in and rock and shore that shoulder back up, but I'd actually talked to a lady about that yesterday, was going in today to put the DGA back up through there, because we had done that, but some of it had, with traffic, had beat off. We was going to go back and do that, and then our goal is to at least get that shoulder. I really hadn't thought about doing the entire Cougar Lane. We only have out there, I can tell you the house number. It's house 136 is where our maintenance stops at.
Yeah, part of that's city and part's county. It doesn't make any sense why it's that way.
It doesn't. And we always take care of all that anyway, because especially in wintertime, we're there. There's no reason not to jump on. I mean, it's just a few hundred feet.
But we can't pave it.
No.
So legally, we can't pave the city street. So
Right.
But anyway, that is something that I've had some folks mention to me that was in pretty bad shape. So
It is. It's a shoulder. It's mostly the shoulder. The wide is good and solid. I mean, the road is solid, but the shoulder is bad. And if you meet a car, then you do kind of have to drop off on that shoulder. So
just make sure you get with me either at during the executive session or after the court meeting, because I do have some stuff to give you.
Sure will.
Thank you, sir. All right, is there a motion to approve the completed work orders and the scheduled work orders?
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Any questions or discussions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. All right, next item is treasurer's business. Mr. Stacy.
Authorize payment of the expenditure approval list dated September 19th, plus any other utility bills received before we run checks.
All right, is there a motion to authorize payment of expenditure approval list dated September 19th and any other utility bills received before the checks are run? We have a motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Robertson. Any question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
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 Acknowledge receipt of the sheriff and clerk's 2550 reports for August 2022.
Is there a motion to acknowledge the sheriff and clerk's 2550 reports for August 2022?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other question or discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
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 Last thing would be to authorize checks for lodging, registration, and expenses for any employee who needs to attend the 48th Annual CAECO Fall Conference, November 16th through the 18th at the Central Bank Center in Lexington.
Is there a motion to authorize checks for lodging, registration expenses for the CAECO Conference, November 16th to 18th at the Central Bank Center in Lexington? Motion by Commissioner Robertson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Booth. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth. Judge Jones.
Yes. Any other business, sir?
That's all I got, Judge.
All right. I'm going to go ahead. We do have need for executive session. Before we do that, anything to come before the court from procurement, trails, animal shelter, public works, finance, trails, 911? Come on up if you don't care. Anything from solid waste? Anything from floodplain? Sharon, you've got a list of stuff on the grants. We'll do it in the next court meeting. Anything else from the road department? All right.
Okay. As of so far, we have 1,556 registered with FEMA in Pike County. The new DRC hours will be Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Sunday. The DRC will be here at least through the end of the month. Volunteer groups still working in Pike County are Team Rubicon and Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The briefings with the governor and KYM and judges and everything has now been changed to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. And we've had 2 long-term recovery meetings, and the third one is set for this Thursday at Grace Baptist Church.
Thank you for the update. Nee is meeting with the National Weather Service today. Nee Jackson, Air Emergency Management Director. One thing I do need is I've asked Fabian to reach out. The money that the legislature appropriated to basically front the cost of road repairs, water line repairs, Mr. Little's reached out. I talked to Rocky Atkins in the governor's office yesterday. Apparently, there's an application that we have to fill out through Colonel Slinker, the State Emergency Management Director. So I need Reggie and Nee or you, Fabian, to get together with Frankie and see if we can get in touch with Colonel Slinker to find out what we need to do. This money that they set aside to help with the East Kentucky flood recovery.
Okay.
If we can go ahead, if it's possible for us to go ahead and turn our expenses in to get reimbursed for what we've been out of pocket. Frankie, what do you think? I know you can't give us an exact number, but I know we've had a lot of overtime cost. Any idea on what roughly, if you, or Fabian, any idea just on the road department, what we've had to spend with regard to materials, labor?
I would guess probably about $750,000. Expenses today.
I would hope that that we could go ahead and process what we've already been out of pocket to get our money back. As I understand it, the way it's going to work is we still have to turn it into FEMA, and then when FEMA reimburses us, the money goes back into this pool that they've created to deal with future emergencies or future disasters. So we need to reach out because Rocky says that nobody's contacted us about that.
Okay.
So we probably need to reach out to Colonel Slinker to see what the application process is. Fabian reached out to Bobby Joe Lewis, who's the Rural Road Commissioner, who put him in touch with District 12, who put him in touch with somebody else. But we've not heard from him. So well, we need to figure out the details of this because, the legislature made a big deal out of this $200 million that they set aside. And it was my understanding that they were going to cover the upfront costs for the counties, and then the counties would, like I said, apply for FEMA assistance. When FEMA reimbursed the counties, then we would reimburse the state. But this has been a different type of disaster because we've got the state directly helping with cleanup.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
That's never happened before. The state's helped with building bridges. So, I commend what Governor Beshear has done because, and for instance, FEMA's covering bridges, and I'm going to take a little bit of credit for that because I can tell you how it came about. Was I reached out to a friend of mine in Washington, D.C., who put me in touch with President Biden's senior advisor on disaster relief. And, we brought this up and we took it to the governor. We talked to Colonel Slinker about it because we had more bridges probably damaged than we did homes. I think it was a total of 73 bridges that were damaged or destroyed. And the cost to repair some of these bridges,
several thousand.
some of these bridges are going to be astronomically expensive to repair. You know, we're still trying to see what we're going to be able to do with the, Natural Resources Conservation Service on some of the stream mitigation, but we don't think that they've got really that much money to work with right now. That's what it's looking like. We were hoping they would be able to come in and help, clean up some of the streams and help restore some of the creek bank that's been washed away or eroded. But I'm not sure how many projects they're even going to be able to do. I think it's limited to 2 projects right now. Is that correct, Reggie? I think it's only going to be 2 projects. I don't know how big a projects are. So and hopefully that's something we can take to our federal delegation. Something that I'm going to reach out to Congressman Rogers about to see if there's a way to get more money for that, because a lot of property owners have had a lot of their yards wash away. We've had a lot of erosion around county bridges, county right-of-way. So we really need to see if there's a way to get the federal government to help, because if not, it's going to take a long time to get some of that restored. And some of the erosion directly jeopardizes the stability of county roads. And even though they may not have failed right now, another rain event or two, and you're going to see more erosion and potential, embankment failures. Would you agree with that, Fabian? But it's. So, but we need to get everybody together. Neil will be here either this afternoon or tomorrow, so we need to make sure that tomorrow we set something up to reach out to Colonel Slinker as Rocky suggested we do.
I will let him know.
Thank you all. All right, we have need for executive session. Colonel Downey, I want to just mention while Colonel Downey comes up that the city, I want to commend Mayor Carter and the city commission for creating a reserved parking space for our Purple Heart recipients out on Main Street. Something that's, I think is very appropriate. Colonel Downey is a Purple Heart recipient, and I think it was a tremendous thing for the city to do for our combat wounded veterans, and I just wanted to mention that before we move on. Colonel, please proceed.
Judge, if I could take 30 seconds here and go back to the scene with the flood. In talking to our folks, one of the needs that I was told that could probably help, and I know there's groups that listen to this, is you all still need wheelbarrows, right? Shovels, rakes, things like that. Now, these things can be costly. You're looking at a good rake or shovel is probably $30 to $50. A good wheelbarrow is probably $75 to $100. Could go up to $150. But some of you groups that are out there, and I know I've had some that contact me, these are things, if you wanted to put a group funding together, you could go to one of the local places, probably strike a deal with them, and buy a few of these. And then if you don't have a way of getting there, I bet the county would send somebody down there to one of the local stores to pick it up if they had need to do that. Or if you bought several, I bet you these local stores would deliver them. So I'm just throwing that out there because I know in talking with our EMS folks that is a need that a lot of people don't think about. So I'm just putting it out there since I have the floor at the moment.
And I'll get you with Nee Jackson tomorrow, and we can discuss that. So, all
right. What you would ask me to do here is to read the Kentucky Revised Statute 61.810, and under paragraph C, we can go to executive session to discuss proposed or pending litigation, and under paragraph F to discuss specific personnel. Thank you.
Right. And we do have need to discuss the RCC Big Show litigation that County Attorney Kevin Key and I have successfully won in federal court, where the judge is referred to as what lawyers call piercing the veil of the corporation or piercing the corporate veil, where, you know, most of the time corporate officers and owners, stockholders are immune from suit. So if you own stock in Ford Motor Company and there's an accident, you're not liable for a negligence claim against Ford or a breach of contract claim against Ford if you're a stockholder. In this situation, though, the federal court has allowed us to go after the members of this limited liability company and personally, because they personally spent somewhere around $1.7 million of this money to benefit themselves. So we do need have need for that litigation, to discuss that litigation, because it is still pending and what steps that we're going to take next. I want to commend County Attorney Kevin Keene, because Kevin wrote the motion. I did the depositions. Kevin wrote the motion, and Judge Weir sided with the county on that. It was a hotly contested issue, but it is my desire that the county continue to pursue any possible recovery from these gentlemen. Not optimistic that we're ever going to get all of our money back, but I think it's our responsibility to go after the county's resources and to send a message that we're not going to allow people to abuse the taxpayers of this county like that ever again. But we do have need to discuss that. So is there a motion to enter into executive session? Motion by Commissioner Booth. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Tackett. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett, Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. We will be in recess for executive session and return to call the chair. Call the court back to order. Is there a motion to adjourn from executive session?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tackett. Is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Robertson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth, Judge Jones.
Yes. It is my motion to approve the termination of Robert Kendrick effective 9/9/22, to accept Christian Wright's resignation effective 9/16/22, to terminate Joy Couch effective 9/20/22, and to move Jeremy Miller to a 4A rate of pay effective 9/20/22. Just for purposes of information, Mr. Miller's salary is paid by the state. The state has authorized an increase for his position. Doesn't cost the taxpayers here at the county level anything, as that position is paid for by the state under the agreement with the administrative office of the courts. So that is my motion with regard to personnel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tackett. Any other questions or discussions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett,
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yes.
Judge Jones.
Yes. Anything from Mr. Colonel Downey, anything? Mr. Keene, do you have anything? No, sir. All right. Anything from Judge Hickman?
No, sir.
Anything from the commissioners?
I just want to bring up,
Couldn't help it, could you?
I couldn't help it. I could not help it. I could not help it. I've been in some of the halls at the contractors that's working for us, and they are doing a great job too. I mean, we couldn't ask for any better, so between our county workers and contractors, they're doing a great job in District 2. Just want to thank them a little bit there.
You know, by and large, since we've been in office, we've not used contractors, but this storm the damage was so massive that, come on up, Mr. Little.
I really don't have, I don't want to say that I did just earlier. I said that we're probably pretty, actually that's going to be
And we are mowing weeds. We do have some people out mowing weeds, so.
We do have mowers out, but we are still down 2 mowers. We get by the extra mower, trying to split, the Belcher area and the Marvell area.
And they,
It's real slow, because we are still down 2 mowers.
that's understandable. Thank you. That's all, Judge.
Commissioner Roberts, anything? Commissioner Booth, anything? Greg, Reggie, anything on when those two mowers are gonna be repaired? Or what, I know we discussed the problem with them, but those are essentially new mowers. Have we heard anything since last week when we discussed it?
Reggie, myself, and Fabian have all been in contact with the players in this issue. The major problem is through Alamo, is they suited up this attachment on these John Deere tractors with actually 1,900 pounds above the weight limit for the John Deere tractors. That is the issue causing the issue with the brakes.
Sounds like that's a good issue to sue somebody over.
Well, Alamo has stepped up to the plate. They understand it's their problem. They've taken full ownership of it.
That ain't cutting their weeds.
Except for getting our weeds cut, that's true.
I tell you what, if I don't have two mowers back here by the next court meeting, I'm making a motion to sue them. Mr. Little, come up here so that way we can get it on make sure that your comments are heard.
In that conversation that we all three have had with them, now they did express that they were going to try to get some mowers to us. Now they never said a date of when, but that was talked about.
Well, let me just say this. Mr. Keene and I are not shy about suing people.
Yeah.
And we actually are pretty good at it. So if you can call them and you can tell them that if I don't have mowers here by the first meeting in October, then actually if
The thing about this, nobody's catching the hell of it, but him and us three commissioners.
there ain't no trouble. There ain't no stress with being county judge, guys. Come on.
Well, I mean, they are. People don't understand that. I mean, they're calling us every day down our throat about weeds.
We bought new mowers.
And they're brand new mowers.
They're brand new mowers. You can tell them that if I don't have those mowers fixed, they're getting sued.
Well, Judge, see, here's the thing. You've got three other mowers right now that are in the same.
Well, they're going to have to
same
fix
boat.
those too, because it's just a matter of time till those tear.
They said they would. They said they would, but
I want them fixed now. So,
Or get us some spares up here so we can use them, you know.
Greg, I'm asking you to call them after lunch, and you tell them that the fiscal court is angry over this because we've spent a lot of money buying these mowers. They sold us a product that's defective, and they should have known better. And if they don't have a resolution to this by October 1st, they're getting sued.
I have discussed with them the need if these mowers are going to be taken out of service, we need them replaced. We have a couple different players in this thing. We actually bought the mowers from CMI.
Well, then we're going to sue
We bought
CMI
them
too.
It's an Alamo problem. So we've been in discussion with both of them, and we've expressed to both of them that we need some mowers to use in the meantime.
Here's the thing. When we file this lawsuit, we're going to sue everybody. We're going to sue the people that put it together, and we're going to sue the people that sold them to us because they should have known better.
As
They should know their
as well as John Deere should have known that they're putting an attachment on their tractor that's
Well, then they get
1,900
sued
pounds
too.
weight.
So, me and Kevin will take care of it. So that phone call is to be made today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all. I didn't have anything to say other than that. So anyway, I don't have anything else to add. I'd like to ask Gary Sloan if he would, is there any other business to come before the court? If not, I'd like to ask Gary if he would say the benediction for us, and then we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Father God, we ask that you guide each and every one of us, Susan Hall. Father God, we lift up our Father, protect them, keep them safe, Lord. Lord, we lift up those who are affected by guidance for them. Father God, we give you all the praise, all
Amen. Roy, I know we're adjourned. Need you to do something. I need you to get with Greg. We need to send a letter under the Uniform Commercial Code notifying all these players, CMI, John Deere, and Alamo, that they are in breach of the implied warranties of merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose under the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 2 of the UCC, and put them on written notice, because you have to give written notice under the Uniform Commercial Code of a potential warranty violation. So let's get a letter out to them this week notifying them of that. And you might want to look at what what Article 2 says as it's codified in Kentucky about, but you do have to give written notice under those warranties. Greg, can you pull the warranties out and get them for us, what's contained in there? Because even if there's express warranties, there should be some implied warranties as well. Thank you all. We are adjourned.
We gonna vote on it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Call the roll.
I don't have a motion.
She got a motion.
What, we didn't have a motion?
No.
We got you stirred up here a little bit.
You got me stirred up over my tractors. I'm really mad over the tractors.
Well, we are too.
All right. So now that we've decided that we're going to send this letter to Alamo, can we,
Motion.
motion?
Second.
Second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tackett.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth,
Yes.
Judge Jones.
No. It's been a long week. Yes.